I have 3 older sisters. And if there's one thing about having 3 older sisters, it's like they're always going to have an opinion about everything I'm doing. Like, every single thing. And I think it really comes down to, like, this family, my dad, my mom, everyone has an opinion on my life. But I know at my core what I truly want. And I think, do you even know what you want? Do you know what you really, really want with your life in the next 6 months, in the next year? Start there. And then, of course, there's going to be 1 or 2 voices, which for me Gift was one of them, who, like, understand you.
Can you give me my flowers a little bit more, please?
I just gave you your flowers. Like, there. What else do you need? But 1 or 2 voices who can, like, really come to a conversation with you, understanding what you want for your life in the next year, and give you solid advice. And that's not to say you just take their advice and run with it, but, like, I think counsel is very important in life.
Taking a journey through life can sometimes feel like a beautiful chaos. Join me as each episode depicts learning to pause, take in, and express gratitude when seeking to know what each season of life has to offer. My name is Gift Nwosu. Welcome to Breakthrough Podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of this podcast, Breakthrough. I'm your host, Gift Nwosu, and we are back. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year. We're in 2026, y'all. 2026. Whenever you're watching this, I don't know what period of the year I would drop it. Happy New Year. I wish everyone watching this episode a prosperous New Year. And everything you wish and everything on your prayer list. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Please follow us on Breathe Through Podcast on Instagram, Breathe Through _podcast, YouTube, Breathe Through Podcast, all podcast streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everything. You can find us there. Okay? This year is going to be big and better. So, yeah, thank you for always supporting. But today, we have a very special guest who has been on my podcast before.
5 years ago.
5 years ago, to be exact. For anyone that knows me personally or maybe social media, I'm sure you've seen this face. I have my brother, my little brother. Okay. He doesn't like when I do that.
Because I'm not your little brother.
My little big brother. He's taller than me, so like you have to make sure you put them in check most times. You know, my little brother, Gideon, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for having me. To get him on this podcast.
I'm a busy guy.
He had to act like he was some kind of celebrity.
I'm just trying to get comfortable.
I'm just like can we just
life story? But I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about change, transition. Everything like that has to do with change of seasons, transition, especially I thought it was very important to bring someone your age on this podcast because you consider yourself a Gen Z, right?
Sure. Yeah.
What's sure?
I mean, I'm 25, so I feel like I'm on the older side of Gen Z. But yeah, I'm Gen Z.
But Gen Z, so you're in that age where you guys, a lot of people actually think you guys don't like to do any work. You guys like to, if your job is not working for you, you're gonna quit. A lot of people think they can learn from Gen Z in regards to they choose their peace. Yeah, they are they take risks, which I think is true. And they're very much on, we're catching vibes. We're gonna have.
What else would you catch if not vibes?
Fair enough.
I feel like. Yeah, you can't fault us for trying to live our life.
No, I actually think I learned a lot from your age group. So I thought it was very important to bring you on today.
And we learned a lot from you guys too.
Who are you guys?
The older generation.
I'm not the older
the millennials, the 1990.
I'm not a 1990 you guys. We're not that
No, we'll get to that.
But we're not talking about our age here, but thank you for joining. Thank you for honoring my request, even though you're my brother, you should get it. But so let's jump right in. Like I said, we're talking about transition, change, starting over, seasons changing, what that looks like, especially starting from high school. Now you're a college grad. Now you're in the corporate world doing your own thing. So when you think about the word starting over, what does that mean to you? What comes to mind?
Wow, we're getting right into it.
Yes, we are.
Starting over. I think it just means like just a natural part of life. I feel like one thing about life is like one thing that never stops its time until you're dead. Not to sound grim, but like no matter what, time is always passing. You can never get it back. So
True.
starting over is just part of growing up. And I think starting over has this rep about, oh, it's a painful experience, or it's like traumatizing, or it's full of just sadness. But sometimes like it's what you need to grow. Like you can't stay the same person every single day of your life. So
do you feel like you're always starting over in like every season at every point, or is there a stage you reach where you feel like, okay, well, I guess you're still
I'm
like
still
early
25,
20s, so
but I feel like there's been a couple periods where I can say like I've sort of started over, primarily like going from high school to college, leaving Georgia to go to Rhode Island for college, then from Rhode Island going to Chicago, starting over again, and then from Chicago starting to move to DC.
So you've moved. You've
had like 3 months.
Yeah,
of
this
transition.
this one has hopped around.
I've lived a little bit.
You've moved around a lot,
Yeah.
which is good. We'll kind of get into a little bit of that. But as you've gone into adulthood, what would you say you've had to unlearn?
Sheesh. We're really not wasting time.
Or not?
Unlearn. I think
What has helped you? Let me say that better. You graduated college, and now you're tossed into the reality of this whole find a job. Now you're in corporate. Now you're living by yourself, away from the family.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that wasn't a, let's say, easy process. Maybe it was, but what have you had to unlearn? Like, now I'm an adult. I'm here. What has that been like for you?
I think the first thing that popped into my mind, maybe it's kind of crazy, but I think a lot of like the African culture was something I had to unlearn. And I'm Nigerian, of course. Like, I'm even wearing green, white, green right now, if you couldn't tell. But anyone who knows me, they'll know I'm a huge Nigerian advocate. Like, Nigeria, know they carry last all the way to the max. But I think at the same time, like the culture of being like an African child can sometimes be like limited when it comes to branching out into like this American society. And I say that because as an African child, you're taught this culture of you don't want to ever be too full of yourself. You always want to respect your elders. You always want to like think of yourself as less than older people. But as you get into the real world, once you leave high school, honestly, you're surrounded by people who are much older than you, people who have different experiences, and you can't always come into every single space with that mentality of, oh, I'm less than. And in order for me to be respectful, I have to maintain this like submissive persona. Otherwise, I'm disrespectful or I'm proud or anything like that. So I think that was one thing I for sure had to unlearn. And second thing I definitely had to unlearn was just like, I grew up pretty shy, pretty timid. You know me, man. Like I wouldn't talk to anyone, man. Like
did not used to talk. I had to introduce him when it comes to the room.
And she'll be like, yeah, this is my brother. Don't worry, he doesn't really talk much, so you can't. Don't worry if he's just in the corner staring at us. It's fine.
Think he's
just
weird.
It's a little awkward.
But now we thank God for how far you. Now Gideon goes in the crowd, and I guess he's the life of the party.
I turn it on and off.
Everyone wants to talk to him.
But I think that was also something I had to unlearn because growing up so shy, so in your head, and various factors contributed to that. But at a certain point, that doesn't serve you anymore. Like you go to college for the first time. My college is very much full of like kids from different socioeconomic backgrounds, kids from different continents, people who like spoke multiple languages, and like you're going in there and you're like whispering in the classroom and you're so shy.
You have to back yourself.
You have to be able to like stop being so self-conscious of yourself in every room you walk into. Otherwise, like people are gonna overlook you and just honestly put you in this image that they see of you that they don't have to take serious, or they don't have to give you the same level of respect as to another kid who's coming in vocal, loud, expressive, and they're like, oh, let me take him serious. Let me listen to his ideas. So I think that was also the second thing I really had to unlearn is like this whole shyness that I kind of put on as like an armor. Or that's my identity. I'm just quiet. I'm a smart, quiet kid. doesn't really serve you at a certain point.
I agree. I think you need to. I actually like what you say. You need to learn how to turn it on and off, especially at work. Like you need to know how to back yourself, stand up for yourself, take up space, check people. Check people. And just advocate for yourself at the end of the day, because life will pass you by.
Exactly.
So I think those are some good skills.
Even what she just said, like advocate for yourself. Like, yes, you're checking people, but you're not doing it out of disrespect. No. You're doing it because you need to take that space for yourself.
Yeah, take charge of your life.
Take that space. If I don't stand up for myself, advocate for myself, I'm letting you crush me and take up my space. So if I advocate for myself, I'm just doing what I need for my own self. Self-love. Let me give myself what I need.
I agree. I think that's a very, very good skill to unlearn as you get into it, so you don't. I mean, shout out to all the introverts out there, but I think you can still keep your personality, but you need to learn that fast. So I think you've moved around, knowing you personally, obviously, you've moved around a lot to where I feel like the prayers carrying Gideon and my mom and dad's prayers, we just can't keep track of what this one is. He's here today, he's here tomorrow, I'm moving here. And I know we all might joke about it like, wow, just be careful. But I think it's good to see you doing that, because what a better age to do that than now. Yeah. Before, you settle down somewhere, you have kids, you have family, all of that, you get married. It's harder to do that. I'm not saying you can't do that, but it's much harder.
Life is going to force you.
Yeah, life is going to force you to kind of take root and sit somewhere. But what has been the hardest part of like starting over in a new place? Because the reason I ask that question is there's somebody out there that is your age that is starting over, whether it's going off to college, moving away from family, moving for a job, or maybe they want to start over because you just feel stuck. You've done somewhere for so long and it's easier to stay where it's familiar, but you just feel like it's time. What has been the hardest? And maybe go into a little bit of what how did you get through that?
This feels like a therapy session.
Well, I'm glad to know that someone else has said that to me before, but
no, but these are good questions. Yeah. It's very deep. You have me pouring out my heart on the internet.
He likes to do it. He's a hard guy. So you guys.
Honestly, I think my hardest period starting over was probably the first year out of post-grad, moving to Chicago. And Chicago City, I love, I cherish. I interned there the year before, and I came back to work full-time in Chicago. And I just wasn't prepared for how much of a transition it was from college to real life. And I say that because primarily the social aspect was like the biggest shock to me. Like you go from college, which everyone this is like a story that most people who are new grads understand. Most likely, like you're so accustomed to being around all your friends, you know exactly. Oh, let's get dinner at this point. Oh, let's
from
go
college, right?
College, like you're in this bubble in college, and then you come out into the real world, and now you're kind of spread out from your friends. And in my case, like most kids who go to New York, for example, like they have their college buddies going with them. Most people go to New York post grad, but Chicago, not a single person that I really knew was going to Chicago. And for me, that was like, I didn't really think about it until I was in it. I kind of thought things would just fall in place. Yeah. I thought, okay, I'm young. There'll be other young people.
But I tried to kind of, mine was not the same, but I feel like maybe I didn't do a good job. I hinted like life after college is different.
I know you it's 100%. Yeah, okay. But I feel like until you're actually living it, you think it can't be that bad. It's not okay. It's just work, go play. You have more money now. You can do whatever. You think it's fun, but until you're actually living the mundaneness of life after college, it's shocking.
It's shocking to you. Yeah.
Like just for reference, like I was in Chicago. I was living downtown. My job was fully remote, but I would go into the office here and there. And Chicago winter is like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. It's dark. It's cold. It's like 10 degrees. Like, you're not going outside, all right? And I'm in this new place, new building. I like my apartment. Everything's cool. Job is fine.
But I want to hang out.
I'm like, okay, like, I'm off of work.
Now what?
I go to the gym. like what else is there? Like, what am I gonna go do? Like, there's only a certain point where like people kind of romanticize this whole like solo adventures.
I think that's what I want you to own in on.
Yeah. The moving part.
The romanticizing it, it's good, but I feel like a lot of people just say, just move. No one is talking about
what does every day look like? What does a Tuesday look like starting over? At 7 p.m. look like for you? Once you've decorated your apartment and you've got your nice job that you prayed for and you did your vision board for, what does it look like at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday? You know, what are you doing at 8 p.m. on a Friday night when you have no friends in the city? Like I'm not even trying to joke to you, man.
I need to meet people. Like,
and I remember like that summer, I was so excited because I love Chicago, and I'm like, okay, gonna decorate, gonna go to the beach, gonna like go for runs around the city, go to jazz bars, and then it actually hits, and you're like, dang, like, I got no one. And then there are times where like you leave. I would go travel home often because what am I doing there anyway? Like, no one misses me.
Be like, you're coming home
I'll
again?
come back for like 2-3 weeks at home. I go back, and the worst feeling is like you come back to the city after 3 weeks, and you're like, dang, no one even noticed I was gone. You know, that kind of does something to you. It's like, why am I even here if no one notices I'm gone? And there are times where I'm sitting there thinking, okay, do I just move back home? Like, I would never say that because I feel like I always like to like push myself. I'm like, okay, at least if I go home, I'll have friends from church, family. I have my dog. Rest in peace. I have my dog. We don't gotta talk about it. But at least I'll have some sort of like baseline community. But here, nothing. And that's the part that's so jarring.
Describe what that feeling is like. What is that?
It literally feels like a consistent, like, why am I even here? Like, why am I in this city? Why did I choose to come here?
What kept you going? You come back home.
I mean, no, I'm not even coming back home.
Okay, you're remote.
I'm literally
true.
In my house, in my studio apartment, working, cameras off because I'm not turning on my camera. Like,
so you really gotta practice talking out loud to yourself. Like that. I haven't even spoken
like,
today.
You just gotta be like, just to hear your own voice, you know.
Wow.
And like you play lots of music. You can laugh about it now, but like in the moment, the way it feels is like it's like this sense of like, I guess, heaviness, because every single day starts to blur together. And then one bad habit I would have is I would go in my camera roll and I'm looking through like pictures from college, like my senior year, this day a year ago, what was my life like? And now I'm starting to like compare, okay, this is what my life was like before, this is what my life is like now, and it's heavy. You know, I feel like that was one of the most difficult periods of my life because you're by yourself, you have a good life by all means, you have a job, you're working in a big city, but for some reason or another, like you're still not. Yeah, you're still not happy about it, you know?
Yeah, I don't feel like people talk about the mundane parts of it, like the day in, day out.
Yeah.
No one talks about that at all. Maybe more people are starting to say it now, but everybody's just like, move to a new city and your life is fixed.
Nah.
Like something about your life is, and it's good, like explore, take the risk, but I just wish people would be honest, you know, so that when it's happening to you, you know, this is not new to me. It's not just me. But no, we can laugh about it now. I remember the days you would call me like, what's something that surprised you the most about yourself that maybe you didn't know I had this in me when you moved?
Like to Chicago?
Just in general, anywhere you moved, DC, Chicago, like what's something you found? Okay, this is different. I'm actually this person. Because I feel like when you move away for yourself, you learn you outside of everyone's definition of your identity. You really sit with yourself and say, maybe I actually don't like noise. Maybe I actually don't like people. Maybe I think I'm a hustler more than I thought.
I think there's like a serious answer and there's like a more like fluffy answer. But the serious answer for me was, I mean, we're Christian, we're believers, and we grew up that way. And I think it wasn't until that period, that year in Chicago, where I realized how much I actually believed in this stuff. Like how much I truly believed that it was the fundamental truth, where I truly felt that it was just the core principle of life. like your faith in God, your faith in Jesus Christ. It wasn't until I had those months and weeks of just solitude and trying to make friends and find community, but it not working out. And it's like the one thing I felt was like constant was, okay, God's not going to leave me like this. And I think when you have a good life that you're enjoying and there's like distractions and things like that, it's easy to kind of feel like, yeah, I have faith, I'm a believer, but it's like the story of Job. Until everything is kind of like taken away, and now you're being punished, but you're put in a situation where things are tight and difficult. I think that's when you start to really see, do I really hold on to this? Do I really believe that by holding firm to this is a way for me to get out of this situation? Because I feel like in that point, you can go in two different directions where like you put all your self-effort and you say, okay, I'm going to get myself out of this. I'm going to make something happen, which I think I did a portion of, but I think a lot of what I was doing was also just like a lot of prayer, a lot of just like, okay, spending time with God, like truly like, let me deepen my relationship with God. Let me pray. Let me wake up and let me structure my mornings, because it's not as if I have anything social to do. Like, I got plenty of time after work, but let me structure my evenings and let me like find time to really pray. And then my prayers started to come not from a point of like, God, give me this. It's just like, God, sustain me. God, truly comfort me. God, I'm feeling this way in this moment. God, please keep me through this season. You know, God, I need you to please hold my hand. And when you start having those sort of prayers where it's not, God, give me this, but like more of a relational
intimacy with God.
Yes, where it's like, hey, give me your hand. God, please hold my hand. You know, and I think that was one thing that really kept me grounded during that time. One thing I learned about myself is like, I truly, truly do hold on to this faith that my parents taught me, that everyone in my life is sort of reinforced.
You
like,
know God for you.
That I knew God for myself. Like at 22, 23, I was like, okay, like this is actually who I am. You know, that's one part. And the second part was just that first year in Chicago, I realized how little effort I had really given to community in the past. I felt like throughout my life, though I was quiet or shy, whatever you want to call it, I always had people sort of gravitate towards me and just like, hey, what's your name? Da, da, da. And I go from there. But I'd never been the one like proactively reaching my hand out saying, hey, what's your name? Nice to meet you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you start to realize that all throughout your entire life, you've always kind of been like befriended. You never befriended anyone. You've never really given effort. So
making friends as an adult
it's a whole art, honestly. You really have to like...
Can you talk about that?
Making friends?
Yes. Like you actually try. I think it's a little creepy.
I think it's
someone
almost
is trying hard to be your
yeah.
friend. It's like
there's a line where it's like, whoa, like, do you want to be my friend or do you want something
there
else?
There has to be a skill on how to do it.
I think it's like it's almost like dating in a sense. Like, okay, you meet them at an event. Okay, let's follow up. Let's send a text. Okay, let's plan another outing. And it takes so much effort because not just everyone's busy, but like I think people just don't. Not to say they don't value friendships as much, but it comes a point. It falls
on the back burner because life is life.
Like especially if you're in a situation where you have some community, like let's say it's like I'm fucking my career, I'm trying to find my wife, like I'm not really trying to just be buddy with just anyone. So like you really have to like keep stretching, keep reaching out, keep planning. And that was one of the biggest things in DC that I took was like, okay, I'm gonna put this experience in Chicago behind me. I'm coming into DC. I mean, you were there when there was that social event that was like on the fence about going to, but like going to these events, wearing that name tag. Hi, my name is Gideon. Nice to meet you. Talking to people, trying to kind of like fill out who you really connect with off the jump. And it's uncomfortable. It's weird.
It's very weird.
It's weird.
But I think you've not met other people that you will love, and it might not be as rapid as when we used to be in college, but I genuinely think you should never stop making friends. You should be more guarded.
Yeah.
More discerning and vetting people more.
There's so many new people to meet.
Be open.
For
life.
And even like coming from college where everyone's so like a similar age, but you start to make friends with people who are like 28. You know, like I'm a 23-year-old. What am I making friends with a 28 person? Like someone, I have a friend who's like 34.
Oh wow!
And it's like we work out, we go to the gym together, we do all this stuff. But it's like Chicago Gideon is not really aware of what that takes to do that. You know, having these like real conversations, talking, chopping it up, all of these things. Like it's an art, and like you really have to like force yourself to do it because it's not.
In a healthy way, of course. You don't want to creep the other person out too much.
Yeah.
But I think you also watch for how if it's mutual.
Yeah, if they're coming back to
you have to give space to receive.
Yeah.
Invite back.
But it definitely takes more.
So talk about your group. I mean, now you're on the other side of the friendship. How would you describe the season you're in now with community?
You know, it's so weird. I feel like, shout out to God, but I think I've been able to find a community in DC, like friends, different groups. But I think also like, I think I talked to you about this too. I really do like my alone time. Like,
isn't that crazy how that works?
It's kind of weird. I think I kind of got
now
used
you
to
have
being,
too many people.
Not even too many people. It's just like I got so used to Chicago being on my own and like kind of just forming a life wherever I could. And now it's like I don't need to always be out with someone doing something. I feel like Monday through Thursday I'm kind of like not really available like that because I'm either just working and doing school or working out. But I think it's really like 2-3 days where I'm the most social, which is maybe it's typical. But I think being in DC is nice. Community is great. I try to show up as however I can. I try to plan things. I try to go to things that are planned.
I think that's good. One thing I would quickly say is I do think, even to your point, you're meeting people, now you have friends, you have community, but you still have a sense of kind of like my alone time. I feel like as an adult, that feeling will always be there. Yeah. Like you would, to some degree, you kind of do life a little bit alone. Like I feel like you have to learn that and accept really it well, and have a healthy relationship with it, because not because people don't want to do stuff, but people are busy.
Yeah.
So once you learn that, and thankfully you have gone through that, I don't think you can ever feel what you felt again.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I feel like sometimes you have to go to the deepest pain, unfortunately, the deepest challenge. Once you get on the other side.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
You have a healthy balance.
I would not skip through Chicago again. I would not skip through it. I would definitely go through it. But yeah, I think now I'm about to be 25. I was 21, 22. I'm not the same person I was. I feel like my expectations for my social life have kind of like been normalized compared to like college, where like every single night is social.
Overdrive of activity.
That's not normal life. That's like a bubble.
You
have to come to a point like, okay, even if I graduate college and I'm only really doing an activity once, twice a week with people, that's fine.
I feel like that's even sustainable.
That's honestly, that's sustainable. That's honestly great.
Great, yeah.
You know, but expecting to do something every single day with someone else, like, it's not sustainable.
And maybe that's why there was a huge drop, because like college teaches you like you're always seeing your friends and and then everybody's now, you're not dropped here, no one talks about it, you're not like is this awkwardness, whereas everybody's floating, has learned it and stuff. So but thank God. Let me ask you, what's the risk you took? It doesn't have to be about even moving, but just in life right now, what's the risk you're glad you've taken, being on the other side of it?
A risk I'm glad I've taken. I'm gonna need more time to think on that.
Okay.
Risk.
That's fine.
Like, do you have one?
Risk I'm glad I've taken. I think, I mean, even with the podcast I'm doing right now, I'm just glad I decided to push through the cringiness of posting on social media and do it. I think the impact I've seen, how people have reached out to me, or just the confidence is even growing in me, even with my public speaking and how I handle conversation. I think it's good.
Do you feel like it's what you're supposed to be doing in this season?
Yeah.
Of your life?
I can't see myself not having this side of me finding some kind of expression. I feel like I've dealt with it when I was wedding planning when I couldn't do it, and I know what I felt like. I felt like, as much as I was doing other things, still going to work. I just need to talk. I need to. It's something that is heavy there, and it does not have to be podcast. It might show up in a different way.
Yeah.
3 years from now, but let's transition to. I see what you think about the risk.
Okay.
What are some tips? There's somebody out there right now. Act like there's somebody out there around your age, early 20s, maybe even late 20s, because I don't think you're too young to speak to someone that is even in their late 20s, wanting to start over. Maybe he's at home right now, graduate college, has this new job, or they just look, just some kind of change and transition is happening in their life that is still not sitting right with them. What would you say to that person who is in the middle or is in the deepest part of pain in regards to the transition they took, which does not make it a bad transition? You've already talked about some tips. What would you say to that person? I really want you to even speak more to the Gen Zs, really.
Yeah, to the Gen Zs.
The Gen Zs. Hi, Gen Zs.
I think I would say, make a valid effort. If it has to do with, like, community or whether you're going into, like, a new phase and you're concerned or confused about how it's going to look, make a valid effort. And when you think you're making that valid effort, stretch a little bit more. But I think at the same time, you have to be in the right situation as well. And one thing I would say is be honest with yourself about if the ingredients for what I need are not in this spot after I've made a valid effort and given it some time, which for me was going from Chicago to DC. I gave Chicago a year, it wasn't working. I made a valid effort. And I started looking, elsewhere. Like, let me strategize about where my next move is. But I think make a valid effort, give it time, extend a little bit more. And then, honestly, just don't be so stuck on it must work in this spot I'm in. Whether that's like a new city or a new job, I think there's so much about life that can be unique, which when she was talking about, like, I'm bouncing around to here to there, I've sort of embraced being a little bit nomadic. I don't even think DC is my
final
stop.
Do you have a house right now?
I don't have a house. I don't have a car. I don't have a bike. But I think you can embrace the uniqueness in your life that sometimes maybe one person's able to go to this city and find their people and find a great job and find a steady footing. But for you, maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's not meant to be that way. Maybe you are meant to move again. Maybe you are meant to leave that job. Maybe that's just the path your life's supposed to take. But I don't think you need to live someone else's life or the ideal trajectory for your life based on what social media or what the parents or friends are saying. I think just
talk about
be willing to
I like
to
that
be
you
unique
brought
in a
up
way.
what people are saying. How does one filter out opinions and advice in that stage? Because I think you should, if you have mentors, you have family, you should be open to taking advice from them.
Yeah.
But how does one filter out what works for them and what doesn't? And don't just say just trash the advice.
Nah, I have 3 sisters. I have 3 sisters.
Yes, he does.
I have 3 older sisters. And if there's one thing about having 3 older sisters, it's like they're always gonna have an opinion about everything I'm doing. Like every single thing. And I think it really comes down to, like, this family, my dad, my mom, everyone has an opinion on my life. But I know at my core what I truly want. And I think, do you even know what you want? Do you know what you really, really want with your life in the next 6 months, in the next year? Start there. And then, of course, there's going to be 1 or 2 voices, which for me Gift was one of them, who, like, understand you.
Can you give me my flowers a little bit more, please?
I just gave you your flowers. Like, there. What else do you need? But 1 or 2 voices who can, like, really come to a conversation with you, understanding what you want for your life in the next year, and give you solid advice. And that's not to say you just take their advice and run with it, but, like, I think counsel is very important in life. Trusted counsel, not just everyone's opinion, because it can give you, like, what's that grace that I have, like, analysis paralysis, where, like, you're analyzing different options and, like, you never really make a move. Like, sometimes figure out what you want for your life. Figure out, okay, the next year I want it to look like this. Talk to one or two people. If you're Christian, if you're religious, truly pray about it. I don't mean that in the corny sense where it's just like, yeah, pray about it. Like, no, like, close your door. There's a scripture in Lamentations that says when life is hard and heavy to bear, go into the silence, don't speak a word, and just wait for God to speak.
Quote the Bible.
Come on, there. You see it. I think it's like Lamentations 3 or 4. But like, go off into the silence and just talk to God and make a decision. You know, but all those voices, all those do this, do that, and it's a little controversial. But a friend of mine once told me this: like, why would I take advice from someone who's not where I want to be? And it can be a little like, oh, that's disrespectful, that's shady. No, but sometimes, like, it's real. Like, don't take advice from people who are not where you want to be, because how can they get you to where you want to be if they're not even there? That's not shade to them. It's just like they can give advice to someone else who's trying to get to where they are. But if you haven't been in this whole like jumping around from city to city, how can you really give me the best advice? You know, how can, if you haven't left your job in 20, 30 years, you can't advise me about my job search. So it's just like trusted counsel, experienced counsel, prayer, and just like set your vision in place and go with that. But for any Gen Z, any new grad, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, 80% chance it's gonna be difficult. Like, unless you move to New York and
one thing I'll say about the Gen Z is you guys do not sit where you're not appreciated. You go.
And you should.
Quickly.
And maybe not quickly,
to a fault sometimes.
Go. If it needs to be, just go.
They all will quit that job and take your PTO.
As you should. Because what if you get sick today, they'll replace you like that. And the job market is terrible, so actually don't take that PTO.
No, don't.
Maybe don't take that PTO.
No, but that's really good. Yeah. And we're coming to the end of this. Do you remember any risk now or
risk? Nah. I think no risk I can think of.
Okay, well, this has been great.
Yeah.
The last question I want to ask you is not even about change or anything. There's a lot of pressure with the young people. I mean, I'm still young, so when I say young people, that's okay. Anyways, debatable. Well, how do you deal with, you have to be doing this, you have to be doing this, you must be doing this now. Now is the time to do this. How do you deal with all of these things? Especially because, they do say these are the years, the formative years. Obviously you're going to be someone's dad, owning a home, or being the head of someone's household. How do you deal with that pressure, and then we'll wrap up?
Shoot, I think I've been dealing with that like the last 7 years of my life, honestly. I think I'm someone who I like to set my vision and work towards it, but of course, like, I still have like my struggles with like worry or just like self-doubt and things like that. But dealing with it, just take it a day at a time. I'm not gonna lie, like, since I was left college, I've been very much fixated on like career and like, what am I really going for? What is purposeful? What is my purpose? But I feel like I talked to our dad the other day, and he was saying the exact same things. What is my purpose in life? And I'm like, dang, you're almost 70, like, so I'm gonna like stress myself out for the next 50 years. Yeah,
there's no final destination.
Like, it's not like that question ever really gets solved, or your career really gets truly figured out. I think Mom also said, like, as you're climbing a staircase, like, you can't see the top of the staircase from the bottom, but as you take a step, you start to see like little glimpses of the top, and the picture starts getting clearer. So I think just take whatever steps you can in the moment. If this sounds cliche, I'm sorry, but take whatever steps you can. Truly do your best. Like, I think that's so underrated. Like, that's really good. Giving out the best work you can, the best effort, the best attempt you can, and just trust that you'll find your footing where exactly you're supposed to. But just keep taking that step. And when the picture gets clearer, you'll know, like, okay, this is what I need to go for.
Stop worrying. I feel like a lot of young people are sad these days.
Stop worrying.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times younger people we're comparing to someone that is in their 40s that is driving a Lamborghini. Like,
I think it's just from fear, because you don't want to.
Of course, they're driving there.
You don't want to feel like you didn't pan out, and like now you're like 35 and oh dang, I didn't it's too late. But it's not even too late.
It was too late.
You can speak on that. You're in your 30s, you know? Like,
okay.
It's not too late.
That's a lot. Trying to get in your 30s. But I just think like a lot of people are comparing themselves to people that have paid the price for years, and you're just seeing the results. And yes, you could say, why are they not showing us that part? But I don't think you're entitled to anybody's process.
Yeah.
Except maybe you're in close proximity or they choose to share.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot to say you have to show me that part. Doesn't mean that part did not exist. Most people just show you the end result when they are now driving the cars, they are now in a big house, they're on the other side of, maybe they have kids, they are now married, they're settled down, and they're going on vacation. And it puts a lot of pressure. I just feel like there's a lot of young people just worrying. And I feel like it can consume you and really just make you a little handicapped. Just like you just said, take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to myself too. I have to remind myself, like,
it's like a daily
take
reminder,
it one day at a
like,
time.
hey,
literally,
let me check myself.
It's literally like the scripture, give me my daily bread. That's what I always tell myself in the morning, like, what I need for today.
Let me just get through today.
Provide that one for me.
Let me just get through
Let
today.
me get through today, because I don't have the strength to worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't. So I hope that encourages somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've come to the end. Gideon, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
It's
always a pleasure.
Should we try it?
I don't know if I still remember.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Already messed up, man. Okay,
we still got it.
Thank you for joining my podcast, even though it's like, oh my god, like I just can't believe the stress I went through just to get this boy to stay here. But thank you. I'm glad we were able to have this conversation. I hope this conversation encourages somebody. Don't just see Gideon is. I mean, this is a. He doesn't like when I say this, but this is an Ivy League scholar here. He doesn't toot his own horn enough, but I even see how you've grown into a young man.
Wow. This is all new to me, guys.
Oh, keep
whatever. Keep going. Don't cut this out.
A young man, and how confident you've grown into your own. And I feel like I've been privileged to see behind the scenes and being a part of like your journey and some of the challenges you've been through, and even seeing you on the other side. I know that the purpose is to encourage somebody, because when you called me and you say, oh, I need some encouragement, I feel like it's because I went through some of that too. And if you don't have anything in your bucket,
she did.
Okay, then if you don't have anything in your bucket, you can't give anybody. So the next person that comes to you, you have all these things to say, which is why you're saying all this. So
that's a bar. That's a bar.
Thank you for coming on. Do you have anything to shout out? Any new thing coming up? Instagram page? I know you have a fashion page going.
I'm a private guy. Okay. But I hope you guys were blessed by this. I think it's always a good conversation between me and Gift.
We'd be talking, man.
We have our long conversations.
Yes, we're always talking about something.
Yeah. But honestly, I'll say this. I think it's important for everyone to have a person, in their life that they can actually like pour their heart out to.
Am I your person?
Yeah, I'll say you're definitely one of the people.
Okay, one
of the people. But I think just have your person, get your thoughts out, because sometimes like that's half the battle. Is just like let me clear out my head and let someone else just like respond to it. But hope this helps you in some way. Yeah.
All right. Please don't forget to follow us on Breakthrough _podcast on Instagram. Also go to YouTube, Breakthrough Podcast, really. And all streaming platforms, all your favorite streaming platforms. You can find us there. Yeah. Thank you so much for the support. We're only getting better this year, and look forward to future episodes. Have a good one. Bye.